What's good, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing JJK chapter 233, so let's jump right into it. We've been blessed with another peak chapter from Gege himself. So we start off with the good guys being worried about Mahoraga. And I'm not going to lie, they're just like me, because I have no idea how Gojo's going to deal with this. But shout out Yuji, you know what I'm saying? He's actually the MC. I know we forget that sometimes, but Yuji makes a great point that even though Mahoraga's adapted to infinity, it's still on equal footing with Gojo. And Gojo's going to be healing very, very soon, so low-key, we're chilling. Shoko notes that Gojo's healing speed is decreasing. Then after we see Gojo use red, we also peep that his output's decreasing, and the same should be done for Sukuna. The narrator even points out something really, really cool that I enjoyed. Even though Sukuna's him, aka like the king of curses and whatnot, they thought it was impossible, like Gojo losing. Like even the honored one, Gojo himself, thought this. And then we get to see Gojo's inner thoughts, which I really, really enjoyed. He recalls the last time he thought he might lose. With that, we get a cool ass panel of the motherfucker himself, Toji Fushiguro or Toji Zenin, whichever one you want to call him, it doesn't matter. There is one downside of Gojo being the greatest or the strongest, and that's that he never truly feels pushed, right? It's lonely as they taught. Just like when he fought Toji, his back was against the wall, he gets that exhilarating feeling again. After he has this whole thought process, he pulls up like a demon. Yo starts punching Mahoraga and he starts to recite the chant to restore his lowered output and then attacks Mahoraga with red. Shout out Mr. Curses himself. He wakes up. He uses rapid escape, allowing Mahoraga to escape. And we get to kind of see Sukuna's whole game plan right now. Gojo peeps this as well, that Sukuna's protecting Mahoraga and then using it for offense because, as we already know, it's adapted to infinity. So Sukuna throws a fire extinguisher and blasts at it to make a smoke screen, then pulls up above Gojo and hits it with a technique that Chozo points out looks a lot like piercing blood. With that in mind, we kind of now understand what Sukuna's plan is. So it's not just that he's protecting Mahoraga, but he's also attacking Gojo whenever his infinity vanishes. Because as we know, Mahoraga is adapted to infinity. Anytime Mahoraga attacks Gojo, Gojo is susceptible to any damage Sukuna can deal him. So this 2-on-1 is actually kind of insane, I cannot lie. Shout out to Twitter for reminding me about this, but Jujutsu Kaisen was once named Jump Kaisen because of shit like this. Like any nigga can get it, even the strongest. Sukuna, being the lovable guy he is, reminds Gojo not only that this is Jump Kaisen, where niggas get jumped for no reason, but also this isn't a 2v1. It's a 3v1. Just then, after he says that, Sukuna summons a new Shikigami called the Chimera Beast Agato. We don't really know what this thing is or too much about it, but it's trouble. Like we obviously know that. Looking at the Shikigami just in general, it looks like a fusion of Nue and Totality, which those are the two chants that he spoke about before summoning this creature. Gojo is a funny nigga though, I can't even lie, because we know he's worried, but all he says is that Sukuna looks like a little child with those giants around him. But Sukuna, being the mastermind that he is, he really doesn't care about none of that stuff. So he's just like, yeah, because Sukuna already knows he has the advantage right now. Like, bro has two crazy Shikigamis, and he's a crazy guy himself. So they're gonna really press the nigga Gojo. They start jumping the hell out of Gojo, or at least trying to, and it's really crazy. And then Sukuna shoots Gojo with the technique he used earlier, and we finally understand what the technique actually is. Sukuna is actually just launching the water from the max elephant like it's the piercing blood technique. So it's not actually the piercing blood curse technique, but it's actually just the water from the max elephant. But the thing that's interesting about this specifically, this is the first time we've ever seen a 10 Shadows user use Shikigami abilities without the Shikigami being present. So I feel like this opens up a can of worms. And honestly, I know Sukuna's been getting a lot of slander the last couple chapters, but we really got to talk about it, because this is just another example of why Sukuna is the only valid 10 Shadows user in history. He's really that guy. He's not Gojo, don't get me wrong. Nigga is not Gojo. But he's low-key that guy. Gojo blasts Mahoraga with red, but the damage is too weak. And this leads Gojo to thinking, monologuing to himself that he needs to use that technique to one-shot Mahoraga. So he's like, I have no choice but to use unlimited hollow technique. There's just so many things to wonder and to ponder about. Like with Sukuna, what's the true limit of the 10 Shadows ability? We're seeing him do things that we've never seen Megumi ever do, obviously. It seems like Sukuna can use the abilities of the 10 Shadows without the shadows actually being there. Where is the limit on that? Can he like punch things with increased bull strength? Can he fly with the ability of the birds? Like, what can he really do? Then when you look at the Shikigami he summoned, it's like, damn, because that looks like a fusion of two Shikigami. And that opens up another can of worms, because it's like, what else can he do? Can he combine more shadows together, making multiple different crazy Shikigami creatures? Could he combine it with Mahoraga? I feel like that would really just like that might end Gojo. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, depending on how Gege wants to do it, Sukuna might have just multiplied the 10 shadows into a crazy number of combinations, which is fire. Then we got Gojo and his crazy new technique that it seems to be related to purple in some way. It could be like a possible maximum purple hollow or something like that. And it's just crazy exciting to see. And we got to talk about that nigga Toji as well, because not only is Toji one of the greatest characters just in JJK history, like he's just that guy. He's got that dog in him. Not only that, but it feels like Gege always points out to Toji and a specific encounter with Gojo to show that that was a huge turning point in history. It seemed like Gojo became the strongest after that encounter. Toji's made his fingerprints on the JJK universe. Gojo, you know, without this Toji experience would not be where he's at now. Like he wouldn't have purple. He just wouldn't be the same caliber of a person. And similar to back then, it seems like Gojo comes up with his best moves when he's under distress. Like it's gonna be really, really interesting to see what Gojo comes up with next, because looking at it right now, he's getting pressed right now. I don't know what else Gojo has in his bag, but he might have one or two techniques left that he could really, you know, turn the tides of this battle. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Obviously, we're on the road to 1,000 subs, so let me know what you guys thought about the chapter, because I think this chapter was probably one of the best we got in a minute. I'm out, so peace.